Budi 95. Budi 95 is a targeted petrol subsidy scheme implemented by the Malaysian government as part of its effort to reform the country's fuel subsidy system and ensure that public funds are distributed more effectively. So this scheme is designed to prioritize Malaysian citizens who generally rely on the subsidized fuel for daily transportation needs. So under Budi 95, only Malaysian citizens aged 16 years old and possess a My Card, which is an IC, and also a driver's license are eligible to purchase RON 95 at a subsidized price of RM1.99 per litre. This eligibility requirement helps prevent subsidy leakage to non-citizens, large corporations, and other ineligible parties, which they are required to pay the unsubsidized market price of approximately RM2.60 per litre.
First, let's look at subsidy leakage. Leakage occurs when benefits are accessed by unintended recipients or diverted from their intended purpose. In Budi 95, this happens mainly due to inaccurate targeting and weak enforcement. Government data shows that 95% of Malaysians consume less than 180 liters per month, yet the quota is set at 300 liters. This creates room for overconsumption or misuse. Border areas have shown unusual patterns, suggesting possible resale or smuggling. Additionally, enforcement varies across regions. Rural stations often lack advanced monitoring, making manipulations easier. Finally, system glitches and downtimes, though rare, undermine trust and create loopholes for exploitations.
A few moments later.
Next, subsidy targeting issues. The program relies on driving licenses and My Card. For eligibility, while simple, this excludes vulnerable groups like the elderly persons with disabilities and rural residents without licenses. Another problem, every eligible Malaysians get 300 liters monthly, regardless of income. This means high-income individuals benefit as much as low-income citizens, reducing the program redistributive impact. There have been proposals to exclude the top 15% income group or introduce tiered benefits, but these haven't been implemented yet. Lastly, special groups like paddy farmers face initial difficulties due to rigid eligibility rules requiring later adjustments.
For the second point, I will discuss the sustainability issue related to Malaysia Fuel Subsidy Program, specifically the Budi Madani RON 95 or Budi 95. This targeted subsidy was introduced to ensure that only eligible Malaysians receive subsidized petrol at RM1.99 per litre, while non-eligible users pay the market price of around RM2.60 per litre. Eligible users are capped at 300 liters per month, with certain exceptions such as e-hailing driver. The main objective of this program is to reduce subsidy leakage, improve fiscal efficiency, and ease the cost of living. However, despite this improvement, the long-term sustainability of Budi 95 remains uncertain. From a fiscal perspective, fuel subsidies continue to place significant financial pressure on the government. Even after moving to a targeted system, the government still needs around RM11 billion to support RON 95. Subsidies and expected savings remain highly dependent on the global oil prices and domestic fuel consumption trends. Any increase in crude oil prices or fuel demand could sharply raise subsidy costs. In addition, Budi 95 does not address Malaysia's structural dependence on fossil fuels. Continued petrol subsidies may discourage a shift toward public transportation and cleaner energy alternatives. There are also a high administrative and enforcement costs involved in preventing fraud, misuse, and smuggling. From an equity perspective, fuel subsidies tend to benefit private vehicle owners more than lower income groups who rely on public transport. limiting inclusive and sustainable development.
So the third issue is a quota sufficiency. The issue began when a man believed to be a government official complained on social media that his 300 liters Budi 95 subsidy quota was not enough because he had already used 100 liters in just 3 days for his outstation work trip. He felt this was unfair because he still had many days left in the month but already used a large portion of his quota. This situation showed that some people may misunderstand how subsidy work. The man assumed the Beauty 95 program should help him with a work-related travel, but its real purpose is to reduce personal living costs, not replace official full claim. This misunderstanding can cause unnecessary anger and make people feel the government is unfair, even when the issue is actually lack of awareness. On the other hand, e-hailing and delivery driver generally use much more fuel because driving is their main source of income. For example, a Grab driver will work 10 to 12 hours a day may easily use 400 and to 5 liters monthly. Because the subsidy only covers 300 liters, many drivers runs out of quota by the third week and must pay full petrol price afterwards, reducing their earnings. They show that the same subsidy limit affect different groups in different ways.
So, for the last issue, I will briefly explain the main risks associated with the Budi 95 fuel subsidy system, focusing on identity, misuse, quota abuse, employer exploitation, and technical weaknesses. This allows individuals to refuel repeatedly within short period or coordinate with others to refuel multiple vehicles. While while beacon monitoring system exists to flag suspicious user pattern, policymakers acknowledge that quota abuse is known weaknesses of volume-based subsidy system and requires strong enforcement capacity. Third, another serious risk is employer misuse of employee subsidies. Some businesses have instructed employees to use their personal my card entitled to refuel company vehicle. This practice shifts a personal subsidy into a corporate cost-saving tool, which goes against the policy objective. Finally, there are technical and security vulnerabilities in the MyCard-based system. Cybersecurity experts warn that weak implementation at petrol stations, such as outdated card reader, lack of real-time verification, and system downtime can lead to exploitation through clone card or manual overrides. Report of connectivity failure at station further increase the risk of fraudulent or unverified subsidies transaction.
To address these challenges, Malaysia has introduced SKPS and Budi 95 system to digitize the fuel supply chains. This records all transactions, helping detect irregularities like abnormal purchase volumes or repeated refills. The 300-liter only cap per my card holder also limits bulk diversions and smuggling. Enforcement is backed by the Control of Supplies Act, which imposes fine up to 100 million ringgit or 3 years imprisonment. Additionally, consumers can now file claims for system glitches, ensuring fairness and maintaining trust.
Okay, for the second point of solution is redirecting fuel subsidies to sustainable transport and clean energy. To address these sustainability challenges, a key solution is to gradually redirect fuel subsidy spending towards sustainable transportation and cleaner energy alternative. Rather than focusing on subsidizing petrol consumption, Malaysia can use saving from subsidy rationalization to support long-term structural reform. One important approach is investing in public transportation system, saving from fuel subsidy reform can be channeled into improving rail network, bus services, and integrated urban transport. Strong public transport reduce overall fuel consumption, lower carbon emission, and provide affordable mobility for lower income groups, while encouraging a shift away from private vehicle use. So, another key strategy is supporting electric vehicle adoption and EV infrastructure development. Increased EV usage can significantly reduce petrol demand and lower future subsidy burdens. The expansion of EV charging facility by both public and private sector support Malaysia transition toward cleaner and more energy efficient mobility. Finally, reforming fuel subsidies send a clearer market signal that encourage investment in renewable energy and green technology. This approach aligns with national policies such as Malaysia Low Carbon Nation Aspiration 2040 by gradually shifting from fuel subsidies to sustainable transport and clean energy investment. Malaysia can reduce fiscal pressure, protect the environment, and build a more inclusive and resilient transport system.
To address this issue, a flexible or adjustable quota system can be introduced. Instead of giving everyone a fixed 300 liters, the quota could be increased for drivers who work longer hours, travel further, or complete more verified trips. For example, full-time driver with a high mileage could receive a higher quota, while part-time drivers keep the standard amount. This system can be supported using data from e-hailing platform and GPS tracking to calculate real petrol usage and prevent misuse. Additional measures such as fuel efficiency, driving training, encouraging hybrid or electric vehicle, and giving temporary top-up voucher during busy month can also help. With this improvement, the subsidy become a fair, more efficiency and more sustainable, ensuring the full-time driver get the support they truly needs.
So for the last solution is strictly enforce identity verification at petrol station using my card and real-time system check by digitally recording each transaction and linking it to a specific my card. The Budi Notify system improve transparency and accountability. Authorities can track unusual fuel usage pattern and respond quickly to potential misuse without relying solely on manual inspection or complaint. In conclusion, strict MyCard verification and real-time system integration are essential to ensuring that the Budi 95 petrol subsidy is fair, secure, and reach only those who are truly eligible while also protecting public funds.
To conclude, the Budi 95 Madani program embodies the fundamental values of Malaysia Madani by promoting fairness, compassion, and responsible governance in the management of fuel subsidies. By lowering fuel costs for lower income Malaysians, the program directly addresses the rising cost of living and helps ensure that the essential transportation remains affordable for the rakyat. So this reflects the Madani principle of kesejahteraan, where the well-being of the people is placed at the center of the national policies. So overall, Budi 95 Madani represents a progressive step towards an inclusive development and sound economic management, which not only supports vulnerable groups but also strengthens the public trust in government policies, reinforcing the vision of a just, sustainable and people-centered Malaysia Madani.
Malaysia Madani, rakyat disantuni, timur, barat, selatan dan utara. Malaysia Madani, hai bersatu hati, kita semua sama Malaysia. Malaysia Madani, rakyat disantuni, satukan rasa demi negara. Malaysia Madani, hai bersatu hati, kita semua sama Malaysia.
That's all. Thank you.